So Danny, I think it's fair to say we made hard work of that in the first half, but then second half when Leo and Antoine came on, it kind of changed the game a bit and we improved from there. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Fair play to Romford in the first half. They looked like they wanted to win the game more than we did. We stopped doing the right things at the right times, and we lacked a lot of quality in the first half. Defensively, in the first half again, I think especially our two centre halves, but particularly the back four, need to thank their goalkeeper on two occasions, because if it wasn't for him coming out of his box quick enough, we could have found ourselves 3-0 down at half time. But yeah, if you look at the second half, obviously we've had words at half time, but the reaction was great, and in the end it could have been 5 or 6. You're right about Leon, he made a big difference, and getting Mario out on the left, so we had a little bit of quality out there also made that difference to us.
Yeah, you mentioned Hughesy there. He did come off his line quickly a couple of times. It seems like in the sort of the national media, everyone's talking about this sweeper keeper now. Is that something that he specifically works on, or was it just he had to be there to sweep up after the defence?
Well, I mean, he needed to be there, but I think the reason that he got where he got there and made the interceptions was because his starting positions were correct. And he made the decision wholeheartedly that if he was coming and taking whatever he needed to take. So, fair play to him, credit where credit's due. But it's not something, he works really hard with a goalkeeping coach, John Alban, and he's probably, I would say, one of, if not the best signing that I've made since I've been in football.
Yeah, needs to be careful because apparently Pep Guardiola's after a sweeper keeper, isn't he? So if he comes calling, be careful.
Yeah, listen, if he comes calling, he can go
and another player who really improved as the game went on was Jared Small. He second half he was really sort of tricky with the ball at his feet, and he was a quality.
Well, I think the difference was in the second half he was more direct, and I said it to him at half time. I mean, in the first half he's run at the fullback, their left back once, gave the fullback 15 yards and still got the other side of him, and I said to him, you've got to get on it, and every time you get it, you've got to be positive, and that's exactly what he did in the second half. And you're right, again, unfortunately they couldn't cope with him in the second half, and that was another big difference to why we went on and won the game. But I just thought in general in the second half we became more assertive right across the pitch, and we dictated the game rather than it just being sort of a flat nothing sort of game in the first half.
And on the negative side, we saw as the game came to an end, Lane Eady had to come off with an injury. It's the last thing we need. We've already got quite a long injury list. Do you know anything about that early doors, or?
He's just off to the hospital now. They don't think it was. Well, they know it wasn't dislocated. It didn't pop out his shoulder, but there could be the slight chance of a fracture in it. But until he goes to the hospital, we don't know. But at the moment, he's in quite a bit of pain. So until we can address the situation and see exactly what the extent of the damage is, we won't know whether he'll be out or whether he'll be okay.
And I mentioned the injury list there. We've got quite a few sort of semi-long-term injuries. Do you think you're going to have to start to look to bring someone else in?
Well, I mean, we've got a squad of 21 players at this moment in time, but there might be one or two areas where we need to strengthen. I mean, you've got Junior Dadson that's waiting for an update any day now. He's due to receive that, but from the day of the op, you're probably looking at 4 to 6 weeks rehabilitation. Ryan Malaw's obviously another one that's got to wait and see on Tuesday, I think, on whether he's got to have an op. Lewis Perkins broke his hand, he's seeing the specialist this week, although with the right type of cast he could play, but he's broke the worst possible bone, the one on the top of your hand, so we'll have to wait and see on that one as well. And then obviously we've lost Jamie Smith, who unfortunately with ongoing problems with his knees has been advised he needs to possibly look to retire from football, otherwise he could have serious complications in his later years in life. So yeah, we've got a few on the bench, on the physio bench at the moment, but as I say, with 21 players at this moment in time, we're okay.